All right, welcome back to Shower Beers, episode 2. I made a big oopsie in the last episode.
Shame.
Yeah, you said hype. No,
Right.
I was hyping down. We just wanted to give a shout out to the Loft and Bud and all of his other wonderful bars for letting us use this space. It's an awesome space to do this in. Do
Right.
shows and everything here, and like Shower Beers is going to take off from here, and that's big part of that's due to the Loft letting us be up here, giving us a space, and we have equipment to use and
Right.
stuff like that.
No,
So,
extremely generous of them to allow us to use their space. They're so encouraging of local artists of all kinds, people putting on events, and it's just a great place to come and chill. There's I'm looking at 5 dartboards and 3 pool tables.
right, and they don't just do comedy too. Like they do they've got so many
Music.
Live
there,
music.
karaoke. It's a great place. I mean, they've got
Yes.
at least 2 pool tables. They've got a foosball table.
I think they have
No.
a dart league.
They did. I played in the dart league. They do have a dart league. It's a great place to play
Yes.
league at.
A good place to hang.
Yeah.
Affordable drinks, good specials, good people. It's,
Always good.
Great podcast.
Papa John's.
Papa
Papa John.
John's.
All right.
All right.
And now that we've fixed Dave's egregious mistake,
Yeah.
on with the show.
All right. What do you
Okay.
got for us today, Summer?
All right.
What I got?
Yeah. Do you want to start off by reaching into our a bag of fan mail? Our
Bag of mail.
big old bag.
Yes, I have a few topics, and the first couple are actually from my family specifically. Shout out to my family.
Shout out to Summer's family.
Thank you. The first one is going to be a fun one. A topic from my dad. He wondered if we had all seen the debate, if we had any thoughts.
I did not watch the debate.
If you had one thought, you had more thoughts than the debate had.
Right.
Holy
No, I will say I didn't watch the debate. I don't know if I was busy. I wouldn't have watched it if I was available. I didn't really care to. The synopsis that I got from everybody, or the resounding thing, was that nobody won.
yeah.
Nothing sounded good. Nothing looked good. It was kind of a dumpster fire. So
That's what I heard.
so I'm glad that I did literally anything else besides watch it.
I watched it briefly without the audio on and just subtitles,
Oh.
and it wasn't better.
Oh, Dave, I thought you were about to say I watched it without the audio on and made up my own words.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty great.
Yeah.
If you're just sitting there no, you're a big meanie. No, you're a big meanie. And that's
Yeah.
not that far off.
We need the bad lip reading people to do
Yeah.
the debate video.
Yes.
I do. But yeah, no. So,
Okay.
Summer, what are your insights?
I did not watch it, but something I heard from my dad and a few other people is that there is a conspiracy theory going around that possibly the Democrats drugged Joe and sent him out like that on purpose.
Which is that's a little ironic because I've always thought when he does his rallies and stuff, it's the opposite.
No,
they're
he needs
juicing
drugs.
him. They're giving him whatever
Uh-huh.
PRT or whatever the hell. It's the government. They have the best stuff.
Right.
But it that's what it feels like. It feels like to me like he's angry and roid raging out there, and this seemed like they did the opposite.
No, they forgot to give him his Adderall before.
Yeah, they were like,
we got to medicate
I
him.
think
Yes.
I think the theory that you're gonna say is I'm completely on board with.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they just drugged him up to make him crazy on purpose so that they could replace him, which seemed crazy at this point in the game because I didn't know that was even an
Right.
option.
Right. Well, I mean,
Well, technically, it's not.
depending on who you
Yeah.
ask, but I mean, between him already having the nomination as the incumbent, even if it were possible, would it be wise to just put in? I mean, even though, again, I'm not going to get political or assume our viewers, but at the same time, I feel like most people that I've interacted with are anybody but these two at this point in time. How are the two most disliked? And again, there are people who like one. There are a lot of people who like the other, even though I'm again keeping it nameless, but whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think I'd rather have a cardboard cutout of like anyone.
Right. No,
Or a dog.
how about we just have
Or a dog. Yeah, I would
let's
rather have a dog.
nobody in 2024, and let's just be single for
Yeah,
this
let-
country.
yeah.
We don't need no president. No, that's how I
Right.
feel.
That's really good.
Is that we just need to figure it
Yeah.
out ourselves because we've had 2 toxic exes in a row. Again, depending on who you ask, it's varying severities, or maybe everything's fine. Depending, again,
Mm.
the resounding what I've heard from most people is that it's god awful.
Yeah.
And it's indicative of a larger problem that hopefully maybe this fixes. Maybe moving forward, the nominees will be younger, because that seems to be a common complaint. Maybe the
Yes.
Only hope.
nominees- right. Maybe or maybe who knows? Maybe this is our last election we'll ever have, and we're gonna stop being a country in a couple.
You
years.
think that's like just a shit attitude to have though? Like,
Mm.
like they'll all die eventually. Like we're gonna run out of old people. Like that
Eventually-
seems to be our plan, right? It's like we'll run out.
I mean, here's the thing right now, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Fact check me if you want, or just like leave an angry comment, disagree. I don't care. But right now there is like a disproportionate amount of old people, because right now people are having less kids because they're like, oh, there's too many. There's too many. It's not a good decision. Our
kids are terrible. Yeah.
Our economy doesn't make sense to have kids right now.
It's difficult. Life is difficult right now.
So between that and kind of patterns and trending down, we have more old people right now than there should be once the kind of older generations
Yeah.
do pass
Yeah.
on.
Well, they're living longer. I mean,
They're living longer. Also, the way the system is set up with all of our polls and everything that moves people on to the next stage of the process to become president are all very middle-aged, or like older than middle-aged people are participating in those things, and our younger generations are getting more like online based. And so there's this huge like gap between a lot of people that are out there, but they're just like speaking their voices online and not in the polls where it
the
makes
old
a difference.
people, they can really get like, the only thing that they get along about or agree about right now is that TikTok is bad.
Mhm.
Like that's the only thing that they all came together and were like, oh, we don't understand this TikTok thing. It's this weird technology. It's why my grandchildren don't talk to me. They're on the TikTok.
they're all like, oh, they don't want to work. They're just doing things on TikTok. And I was like, do you know how much some of these people are making on TikTok? I wouldn't want to work. That's what we're trying to do here.
No, they're banning TikTok, and I'm just like, TikTok, when I got it, it was just, to like, I had a friend who is, mildly TikTok famous, wanted to see their videos, and also there was like some cute little like topical dances and memes or whatever that I'm like, oh, okay,
right.
Those are fun.
Right.
Now I watch autistic people cooking, and it's wholesome, and they're taking it away from me.
Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. Like
It's weird.
Yeah.
It
just seems like it's weird that they're okay banning. Like, we don't really ban things here.
No,
yeah.
well, I mean, depending on who, like, some people try to ban books, some people try to ban,
Yeah.
but like they agreed on TikTok, and like I don't mean for it to even come off ageist either, because like right now I do feel like some people can draw that parallel, but at the same time, I've learned in customer service that dumb has no age.
Oh, sure.
You'll
Yeah,
find
that's
young,
absolutely
you'll
true.
find it of all age, because even if like people do get more progressive as time goes on average, there are still people that are keeping those core values.
Yeah.
Or again, like if you're in a progressive area, you got to remember that those sheltered areas are being kept alive.
It's because people are mostly dum-dums.
No, people on average are
on a daily basis. Like, you don't encounter very smart people.
right.
And I'm not saying that as someone that thinks that they're smart. I'm just saying, like, I encounter people every day
Right.
that
Who are
I'm
dumber
just
than
like,
you.
how have you made it this far?
No, like there are a million people in the that I could go and meet that would make me feel dumb, but there are 10 times that amount that would make me feel smart being around them.
Right.
Like for every
right,
one
yeah.
person that makes me feel dumb, there's 10 that make me feel smart, and that's what I'm like, I shouldn't be this far above the average. Or if you look at somebody and you're just like, regardless of who they're voting for, you're like, shit, they can vote.
Right.
that guy who genuinely believes that birds aren't real can vote. Like, it doesn't matter which one he's voting for. That's not an informed person who has.
Don't get me started on
They
birds
have
for
the
real.
right, but they don't have the. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have my permission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the birds aren't real thing. It's just an offshoot of flat earthers. Like it's
Oh yeah.
Right.
so obviously untrue.
Right. There are people. I mean, there are also people out there. I have a joke about it. There are people who think that pro wrestling is real, and those people are voting.
Yeah.
Those people are
Yeah, that's
Which actually, did you know that Donald Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer?
what?
No.
He was inducted. So again, I'm not going to prattle on about pro wrestling, but back in 2006, there was an angle for WrestleMania 23 where they called it the Battle of the Billionaires, where Vince McMahon and Donald Trump had like kind of a on-screen feud or argument, and they each got a wrestler and made those two wrestlers fight on each of their behalves. The loser had to shave their head. So Trump's guy won. Vince McMahon had to have his head shaved, live. I think it was live at WrestleMania by Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
Wow.
I mean, again,
How is that not part of his platform?
Yeah. Why hasn't he talked about that yet?
Why is that in his
he's-
ass?
I'm not going to speculate on why he's not talking about something or why he is talking about something. We'll go down a rabbit hole, and I'm going to make
Yeah.
half of that.
So I know that we do have an upcoming segment, not in this episode, but where we'll be debating topics that I've come up with. I thought it might be fun to just throw one of those topics out, and we'll just talk about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull up these topics, and how about this? I will put out 3 choices, and then you two decide which ones we're doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So like, I don't want to just pick one.
This is like a board game. I'll figure it out as we
Right.
go.
Okay. Okay. The first choice. Would you rather have a traffic ticket or traffic humans? The next one you can do. Would you rather live in the sewer or be homeless? Like you have to live in the sewer, or you're just regular homeless. And then scary doctors or scared of doctors? What would you rather have a scary doctor, or would you rather be scared of doctors?
But then if you're scared of doctors, then they're all scary.
So just one scary one.
Yeah, but if you're not scared of doctors, but you have a scary like would you
Oh.
rather not be scared of doctors but have like a
So
scary
would you rather
doctor?
that your fear be rational or irrational?
Right. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I would still want to talk about the being regular homeless or in a sewer, because I'm going sewer.
Really? For cover?
No, because I could feel like a teenage mutant ninja turtle, and I could come up for. Also, if you get used to sewer, and then you go up for air, oh, that's a whole new world, baby. That's a.
Yeah.
If you get used to sewer, then like
Maybe I imagine it being more like a fish, where like you can only be above ground for like a certain amount of time. Like you can only be like a fish, kind of like they can be out of water for like a little while.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, like you could be up above ground, but it's only like minutes.
Also, imagine getting to learn the sewers. That way you could like take like these little fun short
Right.
downtown. You'd see a lot of poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
oops.
No.
But
What do you think, Summer?
For the sewer or homeless?
yeah,
Just homeless is fine. On land where it's dry is good. I'll find an underpass, a park, whatever I need.
but then you got people hassling you because you can't really,
No.
Right.
because like
Nobody can kick you out of the sewer.
That's true.
Yeah, catch me if you can.
Yeah, it's like you're. I'm not like.
Ooh.
It's that thing is like I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine just going to the bathroom and before you sit down, you just like look back real quick and you just see Dave just
Oh, God.
I wouldn't wear any clothes. I
Terrifying.
wouldn't wear any clothes.
just like a little.
I would be completely naked the
Oh
whole
my
time in the
God.
sewer. I'm pro sewer.
Mm.
Okay. There you have
But
it.
yeah, I don't. I don't know. It would like because there's just like adventures down
Right?
there.
No, you cannot
Sure.
shake me off.
I
of this
think I'm
stand.
really like glorifying the sewer too. Like I don't think it
just get
cannot
the
be
No,
as
like-
cool as I want it to be.
Moist.
as many pros as we're coming up with. The con, you're in the fucking sewer.
Yeah,
The sewer.
like, you're
There's
in
so much
poop water.
bacteria.
Right, but then you become
Immune.
like you would have the greatest immune system if you didn't die.
Yeah, if you don't,
True.
yeah,
If you don't die down there, like you've become superhuman.
Right. No, and like the pets, you know, you're gonna have lots of pets.
Oh yeah, lots of pets. Coming like a rat king. Oh, is that Theo Vaughn? Is Theo Vaughn the rat king? Is that his?
Rat King?
Is that what he like calls himself?
I have
I
no
don't know.
He might.
Comment if you know.
comment if you
Theo,
You
please
don't
tell us
know.
what your name is.
By the way, before we get back into the fan mail, if you have fan mail and you want to see us talk about a topic,
Yeah,
or if you have
yeah.
questions for working professionals such as us, go ahead and email showerbeers.ia@gmail.com. Go ahead and Facebook message
Yeah.
the Shower Beers group, or find a way to contact one of us individually, because we'll just go ahead and write it down.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's how you get the fan mail into us, so we can talk about all these hard-hitting topics like oh shit, actually the debate and
Sleep
should
study.
women be allowed to sleep?
That's Summer is. I don't know where she doesn't say where she stood on that. I understand.
I think
the point you're
America would be
making.
way better off if our society was set up to allow women to live in their true nature, which does need a little more sleep, and appreciate them for who they are in society.
I think building on that, and it would solve a lot of people, like not just women and men, is if we just couldn't work before 10 a.m.
That would be great. There's a country where I think that is like a thing.
Pretty much everywhere else.
Right, but well,
Like
Oh,
the bad
we
thing
work
is,
a lot here.
yeah.
is like, oh, you want to go out to eat breakfast at a restaurant? Oh, there's nowhere open because they don't open till 10.
Oh my
and
God.
you work at 10.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to like make breakfast at home with your
Well,
family.
no,
You're
it doesn't mean work has to start at 10. Work doesn't have to start. Like your work could start at noon, and
Right.
you work till 5.
Right.
But like breakfast could be at like normal at 10, dinner
Mhm.
normal at like 8 or 9.
Sounds good to me.
Right. No, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Just reduced hours in general. More hours.
It is true. We do like this is a working. Well, no matter what you want to say, like people don't want to work. Yeah, because they've seen the generations that spend their lives working, and they're like they are miserable. Like
No, right. Like what job would you do if you could have any job? Like
I would
what
be
job would you
I'd be a
choose?
stand-up comedian.
That would be really nice. That'd be really nice.
Like if I had a choice, that's what I would.
Oh,
do.
that sounds awful to me. Like I've been doing stand up for 7.5 years. People have asked me dozens of times, "Would you ever want to do this for your job?" And I say no unequivocally every single time, because as soon as it becomes work or what my livelihood depends on, now I've introduced stress, and I'm not doing it because I want to. Now I'm doing it because, well, that's where my next paycheck's coming from. That's like where, so like,
Right.
and if I ever get like writer's block, which that's an entirely different topic, can you imagine if you
Yeah.
need to produce more content, but
Mhm.
now it's just not coming?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that point of view. Like,
But
very
I would be a
much.
talk show host.
Oh,
It's very linear.
you're already like a talk show. Like
Right.
you're just like you're like the what do you say, like the rebel without a cause, like the talk show without a show.
I'm the host without a talk show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just waiting for you. Like
Mm.
Right. No, and the funny thing is, like you mentioned, that people in our parents' generation, or people like the generations that have worked their lives away and kind of maybe showed us that was. My dad worked in like a factory for like 50 years or something like that, and I thought that's what you had to do. I thought you had to go get a job you didn't,
right. That's
so you could have a life outside of work. But then I had no idea that if I have these passions and talents, maybe I could use that. Like I majored in stupid things in college when I could have, maybe gotten a journalism or gotten a broadcasting. I could have went and been a DJ, but I thought, oh no, people that's for the best in the world to get to do and make a
Right.
living. And I had no confidence in myself that not everybody wanted to do that.
Mhm.
yeah. No, I mean it's just like it's a funny realization when you're like finally feel like an adult and you're like, oh yeah, I can just go do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I can just like I don't like nothing has to happen. Like
Mhm.
I just go do.
Yeah.
But
Summer, what's your dream job?
I feel a little similar to you in some type of performer. I would love to be I say not a musician because I don't know any instruments, but a performer, singer, hosting things, something like that. But I also just didn't believe that I would ever be able to
Right.
do that.
Right.
And now it seems possible. So
Right.
keep an
It
eye
seems
out on
like
Summer Dawn.
catch it karaoke nights.
Karaoke
No,
night,
but like, yeah, no, people,
baby.
it seemed like when we were we're all of the same generation ish. We're kind of like mid to, mid level or mid aged millennials.
Mhm.
People in our generation at a certain point were kind of told, it seems, to go for those high percentage jobs, go
Mm.
for,
Right.
jobs that you could find jobs in your field in, because I think it's so stupid when I look back at how much I thought less of people who were getting art degrees or who were getting like performance degrees, like because it's like,
Philosophy.
good job getting a job with good luck getting a job with those degrees, when
Right.
those people follow their passions and then they
Yeah.
still got degrees. Meanwhile, I burnt out and hated a lot of things after anyway, even though I thought I did it the smart way.
I think there's just a big like push to like you have to do something that makes money. Like money is the fulfillment, and money
Right.
it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you can get fulfillment like doing stand up, and like you do an open mic, even like
Right.
that can feel so good,
Yeah.
and you feel like, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I made people I don't know laugh.
Yeah.
And even
Oh,
though,
yeah, I'm not a bad comedian, but I'm not famous or anything. But I did have an experience on Friday. We were at a restaurant. We were just
somebody
eating.
recognize you.
Somebody recognized me. I don't know who they are, and they're like, "I loved your show. You were really great in Iowa Falls."
Oh my.
And I was like, I was like so like thrown back by
Yeah.
it, because I was like, thank you. Like I didn't think I did a bad job on the show.
Right.
It's like I was never expecting someone to say, "Hey, I recognize you from that show."
When you get
In
that
their defense, I
recognition.
have some recognizable features. So like I it's
But
easy, but
I mean, if you did do a good job, then they also would have been like, oh shit, it's the guy who did the comedy, and then they would have walked past you.
right.
That's right.
Right.
No, I remember the first time that I got recognized. A dude at Quickstar was just like, "Hey, you're that guy that does the comedy," and I'm like, "I'm sure that is," but like, yeah, no, like he recognized me, and like it was like this like little mid level, like it was on the same street that I did most of my comedy, on College Street in
Right.
where
Right.
I did most of it. But I'm still like, wow, like, and every once in a while it blows my mind that people out in the state, people 3 hours away, know my name and know that I do stand-up comedy.
Right.
Apparently, when you get that radius, even if it's just mostly other comics that know,
Yeah.
like that's still pretty cool.
It
Like,
feels
No, it feels good because it's the thing that you don't get from working a job. Like
yeah,
nobody, like you're not like, okay,
Yeah.
see your coworker, but like if you're in the service industry, it's like, I mean, I've bartended for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure, I'll see some people that recognize me from that,
Mhm.
but it's not as fun. It's like, oh, I know them from work. Like
right.
that doesn't, but like when you know them from the fact that you like impacted them with something that you created and then presented, like that is a completely different feeling. It was super
Right.
cool. And then now I'm like addicted. Like I just want. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But no, as far as like jobs go for me, like I understand your guys' viewpoint on stand up and not wanting it to be your like 100% like the job basically.
Right.
But in my like the way that I work, like I am pretty like work driven. I like to work. It's sort of hard to break. Like I work a good amount, and I used to work a lot more.
Mm.
And I'm like trying to teach myself, like, hey, you don't need to work all the time, because it wasn't about the money. It was just
Right.
like I still now when I take days off, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
you
like, why did I
gotta
take
ask.
this day off? Because I'm
Right.
like I could be working right now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but it's never about making more money. It's just the idea of like, oh, I should be working. And like that's such a hard thing to break. But then when I think about comedy and doing stand up, like I would absolutely love to do that full time,
Mhm.
Right.
because I'm driven to do things, and like I know like if, once I put my teeth into something and like love doing something, like I want to do it all the time. And that's it. And then what's weird is I love working, but it's not necessarily even about the job. Like I haven't really had like my job now is probably one of my favorite ones, and I like doing it, but I've never had a job I loved. like I had passion for. Like I have passion to work, and I have passion to like complete tasks, you
Mhm.
know. But like with comedy, like it's I have such a passion for it now that
Yeah.
I love writing jokes. I love working on jokes. I love getting laughs. Like, but I'm not necessarily in the mindset of like go up there and make people laugh. It's like go up there and do the thing that you really wanted to do, the idea you wanted to like present the thing. And if you get the laugh,
Right.
that's great. If you
Yeah.
don't get it, don't be upset.
Well, so here's the thing though. If comedy is your full-time gig, you have to care about the audience's reception because if you do well, then those are repeat customers
Right.
that are going to go to more comedy shows, including your own. Or if you wind up just doing really poorly, maybe the guy who booked that show doesn't put you back on that stage.
Right.
Because yeah, or maybe let's say you start selling merchandise because that's what a lot of people who make the money. Maybe if you're really funny, your merchandise will fly off the shelves. If you're not so funny, they don't want to buy your T-shirt. They don't.
Right.
So then as soon as it's your main gig, you have to worry about how you're received instead of getting to do it because you enjoy it. And again,
Right.
you could still enjoy the hustle, and you might get
Right.
higher because you have a good mind for the business. That's one of my favorite things that I've worked with you on side by side. But I mean, when when you have to care about the money, because right now, like since we've been working, we care about making the money because that's the best sign of success.
That's sort of like the
Is-
litmus test for like
Yeah.
how's your progression going.
This show made $900. This show made 600. The show made 1,000. The show made 7,500. So you can tell the success or the
Mhm.
demand for your product when you make money. But what happens is when you don't need the money, we're pretty generous, in terms of I've seen Dave borderline take a loss or make no money on a show that did incredibly well because we made sure that other people were taken care of because we didn't need the money.
Right.
But-
And that's a whole nother aspect too, like
Right.
running shows. That's my whole mindset is like I have a job. Like if I wanted to do this for money, like you know, I, I'm just taking away from the people that are like making the show
Right.
good. And like I don't view me as putting a show together as making the show good.
Mm.
I make it good by yes, promotion and stuff like that, but we have a great space and we try to pull in great talent. And they're the ones that are like people want to keep coming back because we've had good comedians.
Mhm.
And so like I believe like it's like I'll start maybe taking some money from shows when like I'm paying them the dollar amount that they either wanted or I feel comfortable doing, and then there's money left over, and I'm like, okay, like that would be mine,
Right.
and that's fine with me. But as far as being a comedian and being in shows, the dollar amount doesn't matter to me right now.
Yeah.
But it is a great idea of a way of saying like this is how valued you are to this show
Right.
and like to the person promoting it, and is an indicator that you'll probably be back there.
Right. No, I've definitely even if it's something trivial or maybe some people won't think it's trivial, like $50, right?
Right.
Like, that's not a lot for if you're making all the promoting, all the booking, all of the time and energy that you spend creating the poster, putting the posters up, talking to the booker or not the booker, talking to the bar, talking to the roster of comedians,
Mhm.
organizing things, making the Facebook page, all of these minutes or hours of work, and also not even what you're just doing, but if you're also performing, the amount of time that it took to get your craft to where people want to see it and it's ready for a show, all of that, $50 might seem trivial. To where sometimes you'll just be like, you know what, just throw it in the bigger pot, let's get. But I've learned personally to take even that trivial amount because I'm like, you know what, this bought a really great steak dinner and some drinks. This,
Right.
my drinks tonight or something like that. So like, when even it's a maybe trivial amount, again, and various parts of your career, it's not a trivial amount, or to some people, $50 is much more. But yeah, like when you're talking about $1,000 show and you're giving yourself $50 of it, you're giving yourself, what is that?
5%.
5%. Oh yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're giving yourself 5% of the cut as the guy who's doing almost all of the backstage stuff.
Yeah.
That can feel a little bit
Yeah, I mean,
you got to
you just have
contextualize
to
it.
like you kind of got to keep your mind straight about it. Like you're like this is like you're providing an opportunity and like you're helping a like grow a scene like because that's really what like we didn't come in like doing shows here we didn't come into an established comedy community in Waterloo.
Right.
Like Cedar Falls is great and I love Cedar Falls, but it's just different in Waterloo. And so like it was really just starting a scene here and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna like I want to put everything I can into it. So I feel like when I'm not like when yeah, if I get $50 or that's great.
Right.
Like the money went to the comedians, the bar did well. Like I feel like that's going into like what the progression should be, like where I want the direction
Right.
to go. And it's sort of it's kind of a funny analogy, but it's like working out naturally and working out with steroids. It's like sure steroids is gonna get you up fast, but it like you gotta keep doing things that are
Right.
crazy and unhealthy that like keep that
It's not sustainable.
and
Yeah.
it's not making a strong base. And I think it like what my idea here was just like let's build a strong base so that like I always know I'm gonna get this number of people.
So we've kind of pivoted subjects. Some are like, what's your kind of take on getting paid for shows? Like, what do you kind of expect given like where you're at in your career or like what you contribute to a specific show? Like, how much do you prioritize the the pay aspect, or does it depend from show to show?
So far, my experience has been that I have not even thought about money anytime I'm asked to be on a show. I usually just say yes unless I have a scheduling issue. I never expect money, but I have been paid every single time, and so it is a blessing to be paid to do something that is so fun for me. I really enjoy it.
You'll hear some people who came up the same time I did where we'll be like, oh yeah, getting paid for
Yeah.
going up didn't happen. By the time that you guys were like where you are now is like when we started making. I remember making my first $20, and I'm pretty sure it's because I was in the wrong place or right place, right time, where basically the guy was giving out the money to all the other comedians and then realized I was there.
Ah.
And yeah, no. So like but yeah, I will say this for any aspiring comedians or for any, if you don't talk money before accepting a show, don't be surprised or pissed or feel wronged if you get sent home without any money.
Right.
If you don't, like I will say, because I've seen that happen before where somebody takes a job and then they get butthurt that they are leaving empty handed. But it's like, well, did you set any terms? Did you set an expectation? Because, sometimes people are trying to get you, more experience because that's maybe what you're going down for. Or maybe you're making connections because hell,
well, there's no dollar amount you can apply to like being able making that connection with a new scene that you're not done working. Like that's as valuable as getting some money because return customer. Basically.
Right. So yeah, either I want to get paid, make some contacts, or have a great show. Like if somebody's offering me a chance to perform in front of 500 people and it's going to be electric, it's going to be amazing. Maybe I'll just go work the job for free, because I remember that there was a show earlier this year that I wanted to be on. I approached the guy booking it and I said, I told him verbatim, because I'm approaching you, I don't expect to be included in the budget. This is a show that I'd like to be on. Like, can that work? I gave him my resume, gave him my spiel. I got on the show. And then also I did wind up getting paid from it, but I let him know right up front, I don't expect to be part of the budget. But like, I think that I can do some good on the show and it would be something that I enjoy personally.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way to approach it from the comedian side. Because as somebody that books shows and you book shows and you're involved in a lot of shows, it's like, as a comedian, it's like a hard, especially new. And it's like, I'm not going to say I deserve $100 for the show, like I'm not personally, I'm not going to say I deserve any money for it. But then on the booking side, it's like, all right, like a lot of what is going to be the dollar that you're going to get is like what the door does, and if you have a friendly bar, they might kick some towards you. So that gives you a healthy budget to pay people. And yes, I do try to, like your importance in the show to me, like the headliner is probably going to get more money, but and I think that's probably true everywhere. Well, but it's just I don't know. It's an awkward conversation, and the way that you presented it there is probably like the best way it could. Like if you come up to someone that probably doesn't know that you're in like wanting to be on the show or has thought of you,
Right.
know you even.
Right.
Like that's a great way to do
It
it.
was a great way to make a contact. It was a show around other people that I wanted to be on, and yeah, there was a lot of benefits. I think mutually everybody was happy, and that's the way that it should be, because when you're a person who's booking a show, you need to be doing right by the comedians, you need to do right by the venue, and you need to do right by the audience. You got to make sure that everyone who's supposed to make money makes money, and that the audience is happy and will come back, because then it also
Right.
means that they'll make money next time.
Right.
That's again, some people don't view comedy as a business, or where people have failed is that they expected to be supported instead of demanding, or working up a fandom who is willing to support it.
Right.
Because like nobody owes us anything. Like Cedar Falls, Waterloo, where we do comedy, the scene does not owe us their attendance. They don't owe us their hard-earned money. They don't owe us a couple hours that night. So like when they come out, we got to give them something worth coming to, and something that they can look forward to next time. And that's how you build a product in my
Right.
mind.
You guys want to take? And we're back. And
Hooray!
we're here to talk about Bigfoot
Yeah.
Yeah.
and his
And
mom.
big dick.
It is. He probably does though.
You know what they say about Bigfoot?
That's true. Why does it Bigfoot? Like, because is that the only recorded evidence we have? Is just a foot imprint?
I guess I don't know.
Like it like Bigfoot.
I think that must be it. Yeah.
Right. No, like there's so many other features. Yeah. Why did they pick the?
It's like
feet
we
to name
don't
him after?
know the rest of it.
No,
like
the-
what? Like they're just assuming he's what if he's like really short, but he's like a hobbit. Like,
Right. Like I would like to think that he's just a normal dude, but huge feet, and that's why we're calling him. Because like there's so many other defining traits.
Right.
If we were gonna give him a nickname, Big Hairy,
Yeah.
Big Scary.
Hairy big man.
Say,
Yeah.
Is that a movie? There is like a
Big
movie
Scary?
with
Big
a
Hairy.
Bigfoot and I think a guy named Harry. It's like Old
His
Vacation,
name is
Family
called
Vacation,
Bigfoot Harry.
something.
I have no idea.
Let us know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, so another question that came in from Summer's family, Brandy, shout out to Brandy, was just kind of talk about Bigfoot a little bit.
Yeah.
That came in through the Facebook message
Mhm.
box. Feel free, toss your own topics in there if you want us. I don't have too many thoughts about Bigfoot, but I did love the Loch Ness monster when I was younger.
Why did you love what was the draw?
The draw, just like this mysterious like dinosaur, and like a lake that maybe preserved monsters from a period of time. So like if anybody please in the comments, if you know of any documentaries or anything that is about sea monsters, like that's my favorite thing. So like the History Channel, I swear, used to have like things like about like sea monsters or sea
Yeah.
snakes,
Yes.
or like legends of like where did the origins of dragons kind of come from, like
Yeah.
in the ocean. And
Yeah.
like I can't find any now, but like the Loch Ness monster, it's fascinating, it's scary.
Mm.
I have thalassophobia, I think is like what it's called.
Oh.
Like
Phobia?
thalassophobia, which is like a phobia of like dark and open water.
Oh.
So like
yeah.
imagine if you were just
Interesting.
out in the ocean and you're treading water and you can't see under the surface. Somebody with thalassophobia is just like, I'm about to probably get swallowed by
Yeah.
something that is inches from me for all I know right now.
Yeah,
Coming
that,
from the dark.
I think I might have that too.
Yeah.
No, like, it's a rational, but like
It is rational. You could get swallowed by a sperm whale. That happened this past year.
But like if you like, so I have that like in lakes and rivers. So like if I'm swimming in anything but clear water, like so if I'm swimming in a lake or river, and I haven't done this in many years, but like I've been swimming and then I have the intrusive thought, what if there's
Yeah.
like a snake right next to you, like like an anaconda, and then I just
Mhm.
clam up and I have to doggy paddle and I have to get out of the water, because like that
Yeah.
like once you have it, you don't just go, that's stupid, because for all you know, it is there because you can't see.
Could be.
Right. Yeah, I think so I've been kayaking
Mm.
and there's been a snake in the water just swimming, like kind of doing whatever it is they do in the water. And it's like at first you're like, oh shit, that's a snake, and then you're like, I'm holding a paddle. Like I
Yeah.
can just cut it in half if I wanted to.
Or if there was just like an eel that got in like some nuclear radiation and it grew into a monster, or again, like, oh, was this, sea monster, spared from like whatever killed the rest of the dinosaurs? And it's incredibly rare, like lives, deep below the surface typically. But then there are like channels and caves that like lead out to the ocean from like the Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Like there's like so many things and theories. And again, it's just such an interest. I romanticize like water monsters. Like they terrify me. But like there's also that thrill. Like what people do, like when they go on a roller coaster to get like thrills.
Yeah.
That's just me thinking about Nessie.
Do you like the show River Monsters then?
No, I hate it.
Oh, okay.
No, that's too
real.
It's too close to home. Like we don't have any.
No, it's like there are rivers here, ma'am. No, thank you.
Yeah,
No.
I will. They're not cryptids, but I love
Mhm.
dinosaurs. I still love dinosaurs.
Mhm.
You seem like you probably had a lot of dinosaur themes.
I didn't actually have a lot of dinosaur toys. It just the love started with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like when I started watching that, I was like, man, that'd be like I wish I was there. Like I was like I would live with the dino. Like that'd be cool.
Right.
Right.
It'd be so cool.
No,
That would
they
be cool.
theorize
I would not live very long.
that
but
there are certain parts of like the world that are like so isolated that there might still be dinosauruses somewhere, like whether they're like just giant like snakes or crocodile, like basically just creatures that we have not found yet in
Yeah.
South America or Africa.
there is like where's the it's in South America or Central America. Like the largest recorded like crocodile or alligator or whatever it's enormous.
Yeah.
And there are some like natives apparently who have basically quoted the size of like certain snakes in like Africa that are like, oh, what you think is the world's record ain't got nothing on this. And
Oh yeah, and it's like they don't even
researchers there.
They don't even try to kill it because they're like we can't like it will die. Like we can't go after it.
Right.
Just let it live.
Right, and we don't research it because that's terrifying and like it takes
Right.
either
Difficult to
resources or
Yeah, you have to be near it.
it
to
can't be
research
done safely, or maybe it will just elude us because
Mm.
you have this huge amount of land.
Mm.
So yeah, any other cryptids or ghosts or aliens or
Yeah.
Touch on Bigfoot again. I get like it's just such a ridiculous like that one.
do you believe in?
You think it's ridiculous?
Do you believe that there is a Bigfoot?
I believe that there probably was a creature
Okay.
that matched the description of Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
But it's not here anymore, and it's not existing.
Why? Why not here anymore?
There
You think
is
it
not
went
something
extinct already?
that elusive.
You think they're discovering new species like still to this day?
But like
Not of Bigfoot though.
Not of Bigfoot.
Like
That's true.
not-
Other ones.
There's first of all, there's
How
only
are
like
they so elusive, and then we found them.
how are we not captured one? Like we can't capture one. Like that's not.
We
an
probably
impossible
have.
task.
but like
They're probably at Area 51.
But here's the thing, like, are we looking that much? Because the only people that are looking are like some dude
Right,
and his
that-
buddy and a
Mm.
camera. Like that's who we're sending. We're not sending our best to look for Bigfoot.
So you're saying we're not taking it seriously enough?
No, we're not considering Bigfoot a threat to national security. To where we're like, find this man, put bounty.
Right. If
What?
somebody could just convince them that it's a national security risk, like we would find Bigfoot within a day.
Yeah. What if Bigfoot is
Like
there?
just tap his cell phone.
Bigfoot
Bigfoot,
came on a spaceship.
Bigfoot knows who.
I mean, I guess that's more realistic, but like if it's a terrestrial species, like from the description of it, it's somewhere between ape and
Mhm.
Neanderthal.
Yeah.
And like obviously we know what happened to Neanderthal. Like evolution kind of just like did its thing.
Yeah.
So like it's possible that there's some leftover things that, but I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that there's one alive now and that
Mm.
we just can't find it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like oh, we may have gotten it. Like
right,
there's HD trail cams. Like you can't
Yeah.
right.
tell
but
me
then
you haven't
so-
caught a good photo of.
But, like in like the north, like so I've heard that it could be in like one of two places, like the Appalachians or the
Mhm.
northeast, and there's just like so much forest and so much land to cover and so much trees Here's the thing: I don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't, but that is like one of the ones that I'm least sure about not existing.
Mhm.
It's because the argument for it could also be in the idea that there are so many different stories about a Bigfoot-like creature in different cultures and different like area, even in different areas of the United States.
Right.
You know, like there's things that are described as something else that's like, oh, that could have been a Bigfoot.
Right.
Now, I think Bigfoot's now just become the general idea of like for creatures we don't like, we just want that to be it. Like, I think people want Bigfoot to exist,
Yeah.
so that there's still some mystery out there.
Right. Yeah, because that's a lot more lighthearted. Like if you can believe in Bigfoot, then you can believe in yourself. You know.
Right.
That's
Like,
right.
if he can do it, no.
Yeah.
If Bigfoot can stay away from humans forever.
What are some chupacabra or Mothman?
I saw something. I was in Missouri, and
Already a bad start.
I was driving down to St. Louis, and it was like I don't know, it was really late. It was like 2 a.m. or something like that. It's dark. There's woods on both sides of me, already like creepy and scary. And I just like perhaps I was looking down for a second while I was driving, which you should never do. Eyes on the road at all times. But I glanced up and I saw something in the corner of my eye that looked massive and huge and gray colored.
And it was Dave's penis.
That sounds right. Especially the gray part.
Dave doing
no.
one of my favorite road games whenever we're out doing comedy. It's called You Were Texting? Show him my penis.
God.
Anyway, continue.
Yes. I
Where
almost wanted to like stop and literally like turn around and go.
Oh.
can you describe it again? Because I just looked up Missouri cryptids.
Missouri cryptids. It looked huge, like if you let me, like a small bear, like a black bear size
Was
thing.
it like bipedal, like standing?
No, it wasn't standing. It was like down on the ground.
So it's like hunched over and like.
That's what I thought at first. I thought it was like something like hunched, scary, like terrifying.
It was a dude that you just got done hitting while you were looking down at your phone, Summer.
I discussed it. I discussed it with my boyfriend, and we thought that perhaps it could have been like a hog, because in Missouri they do a lot of like livestock raising of these hogs that are like black and gray colored, like striped.
Would you say it
like
had
that.
glowing red eyes?
I feel like it did look like it had something like that. I don't
Alright.
remember what it was that scared me so much.
And your brain can play so many tricks.
Yeah.
So I will. The one that could be of the three that I've found
Okay.
so far is the ozark howler.
What's that?
He is a tall, at least 4 foot at the shoulder, thick and shaggy fur, sort of like a thick cat in its build, or perhaps like a thin bear
Maybe like
with glowing red eyes. Not like the yellow or orange reflection you'd get from a cat eye at night, and making a creepy kind of howling noise, very deep and guttural.
It was furry, but I don't think it had glowing eyes. I feel like it had big black eyes.
There's also Momo.
Excuse me.
Momo is short for the Missouri monster.
Okay.
Which is a purported ape-like creature similar to the description of Bigfoot that was allegedly sighted by numerous people in rural Louisiana and Missouri between 1971 and 1972.
Momo, because now I love him.
Come here, Momo.
Oh, Momo.
I just want more Momo.
Oh,
More Momo.
More Momo.
More problems, as Mickey used to say in that one song.
right. No, that's how you run for like Missouri governor. Is I promise Mo.
All right,
Oh
there's
God.
one more in Missouri.
Okay.
And it's just some dude
don't.
named Keith.
I gotta look this up because it's got a real funky name.
It's just a real dude. It's a dude named
It
Keith.
is called
He follows you home.
the Missouri Spook Lights.
Spook lights.
So this is unlikely the creature you were talking about, but the Joplin Spook Lights, I believe.
Okay.
Let's see what this is all about. The Spook Light is an atmospheric ghost light in the border between southwestern Missouri and northeastern Oklahoma, a few miles west of the small town of Hornet, Missouri. It is caused by the misidentification of distant car headlights.
No.
Wow, I just ruined it.
That was so simple.
But it's apparently spook light. An
Okay.
area.
Spook
See what
light.
these are.
Take me home.
Yeah. So basically, they were just seeing headlights and they're like, "Oh, spook light." Yeah, like if you look at some of these pictures,
We can put the pictures on the screen if we want.
spook light.
Oh, that's a spook light.
There's
That does look like
there's
it.
a spook light
Oh,
there.
that's a spook right.
Spook light.
Look at the people in there.
Oh, what
They're
spook
like,
side?
God, oh my
Spook light.
God.
Oh, at spook night.
Spook light at spook night.
Yeah, it's a spook site right there.
Maybe we should just call this podcast Spook Lights.
It's a whole spook plight, really.
Spook Lights. The mysterious Joplin Spook Light.
Ah, that one's spook bright.
This is a paranormal science lab that reported on it.
Oh.
There's Channel 7
Hmm.
somewhere. Interesting.
Don't think it was that one.
he's
but-
flying a spook kite.
Mm.
I'm giving you work to do on
Spook-
Photoshop.
Spook Kite, Spook Light. I'm going to make my own Spook Lights.
Okay. What do we got?
I make a wish tonight. Are there? What about aliens? Because that happens a lot with cryptids or these like little. Have you ever seen an alien, or do you know somebody who like swears hand to God, about an alien-ish encounter?
You priming me for this?
Not personal.
Apparently, like, do you got something?
Yeah.
Oh.
My girlfriend,
Oh.
Courtney, she swears that she saw when she took the dog out at night
Who
that
let
it
the dog
was
out?
a sort of octopus-like structure flying through the sky,
Whoa.
and it zoomed around. I argue with her about it that it is probably an owl,
Oh, yeah.
but also I could be wrong. Not ruling that out. I'm just saying.
You hear her say octopus fucking thing in the sky, and
Yeah.
you know her to the point where you're like, babe, that
Owl?
was an owl.
Yeah, that
Well,
it could have been anything.
if it's
else.
octopus shaped, that makes me think legs, right? Drones do kind of sometimes look like that. Like they have 4 legs on the
Yeah.
flying drones with their little fans or whatever.
I mean, it could have been a drone, I guess. But
Possibly.
it just she was so convinced that part of me has to believe her.
No,
Like she was like very convinced of this, and I was just like, it doesn't make sense.
okay. Dave just answered the question. How many drinks had she had that night?
No drinks. No drinks.
Is she a diagnosed schizophrenic?
No,
Oh.
no, I don't. It just I mean, the circumstances were set up for her to be right.
Yeah, because nobody else was around.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like, did you ask the dog? Like,
Yeah, like
what did the dog see?
that's like when somebody's just like, oh yeah, I was like,
It could have easily been just like something going across your eye too. Like,
Oh.
I did this real cool thing when no one else was around. You can't
Right.
if I didn't do it.
we have to stop talking about it.
That makes me
She's
think of
gonna-
another
that-
story.
if she listens to this episode,
Yeah.
she'll like where we've stopped now. That's the boiling point.
She
for her.
might
She'll
be
mad
telling
about
the
it.
truth. She might be telling the
She
truth.
definitely believes she's telling the truth.
I had a friend who, when we lived in Florida, we moved into the house that she had lived into after her, and she would tell like me and my boyfriend and her boyfriend that she lived with that at that house there was a man who would just shout throughout the day like woo, 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 like this. And we every time would be like, that's literally a bird. We're in Florida. There's so many birds. That's a bird. And we all would laugh at her. And come to find out it was a man. Like we watched him verbally make the sound out of his mouth. He probably had Tourette's or something like that. And we gaslit her so bad. Poor Amy,
That's so-
forgive us.
that's so
That was the
awesome.
worst thing ever. So one day it's gonna come out. I don't know how,
Oh,
but Courtney's telling the truth. I'm sure of it.
you heard it here first. Octopus in the
Flying
sky.
octopus.
Yeah.
I didn't see any UFOs or I didn't see, but I remember like when I think it was like 2011. I remember I was just chilling in my room and it was night, and my room was like kind of 2 rooms where we had an addition. So one room had a window, the other room did not, and I was in the room that didn't have a window, but the entire room lit up. And then I walked into the other room real quick, and the sky was completely like blue, like it was day. and then it like faded to black pretty quickly.
Ooh.
So like I saw something that lit up the sky in such
Yeah.
a way that it looked like day. So and I remember asking people the next day, I'm like, did you see? And nobody saw
Huh.
that it was daytime for like a few seconds. Like
That's crazy.
That's great.
right. That was that's like my maybe I was just like dreaming or maybe but like I was insistent, and it's been like 15 years almost since I was
Right.
14.
And it's still like burned into your
But like,
mind.
I remember it, but like it's like I don't remember it as much as like when it happened. But like yeah, no, I was like certain, and it was I remember I looked it up on the news, and I have still to this day like every once in a while try to like look up, was there like a meteor that flew across the sky that like lit up the sky because like the fire was so bright on it and intense.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm like, what would have caused a light so intense to make it look like it's daytime when it's nighttime?
Mm-hmm.
I think part of why I am always so skeptical of all of it
Mm.
is because I have not experienced something that I've
Right.
to that, and then like I don't know if there's something to be said about like belief and like wanting to see it as far as in my mind, like if that's the
100%.
case of it, then like is it
Well,
really real?
Well, it's two extremes because if you're like you said, when you're on edge, sometimes you can trick yourself into seeing something where if you're driving down the road and you're like, oh, I hope I don't see anything spooky in the side of my vision, and then all of a sudden you're kind of going to see it because you've primed yourself. And
Right.
if you want to see it, your brain will trick you into just seeing it for sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
But,
it's
like-
I mean, I'm not ever ruling it out. I'm not saying no. And I will say this, I do believe that the government is in possession of something extraterrestrial.
Mhm.
Like, but
Oh, there's been too many really
as far as like the sightings that people are reporting pretty regularly, I think there's a lot of mind playing tricks on you sometimes, especially if you've seen one maybe.
Yeah.
Then like now all of them, like your mind kind of just like puts in some details for you.
Right,
and
right.
Recall like, but
No, but
yeah.
like there was like that really big one in California. I don't remember how many years ago it was, but like everyone in LA saw like either a really big ship or like a fleet of ships or something like that.
What?
Like I might try to like look it up or something like that because like there was
Well,
like a
there's a-
really big. Yeah, it was like it was an event that people like look back to as like it was like in the papers. Like
What?
everyone in the city, or not everyone, but like people. Yeah, there was something that like went down in the air, and people were like, "Oh, it was just government tests of their, aircrafts," or like, but like, yeah, it was like really.
Well,
spooky.
there's one that I think I was watching a show or maybe just something on YouTube about it where there was like multiple people reported seeing something.
Yes, yes.
And it was even, I believe, on the news in that local area. And then like minutes later, like an Air Force or whatever jet flies over in a fast, and like that was kind of the extent of the story. But it's like, all right, so there is some validity, especially like you don't see unless you're near like a base or something. Like, you're
Right.
not seeing that happen. And so
No.
like if they're getting a response, that means something was probably caught on radar, and they're like, oh, we got to go find out what's going on. So like that's okay. Like I said, I'm not ruling anything out, but I like to stay skeptical because I think there's just it's mostly not.
So you think
accurate.
there's extraterrestrial stuff, just not aliens?
Yeah, I mean, along with like
Oh,
I don't think we just got a like extra. I think there's probably some sort of life form
Oh,
probably
okay.
have.
Okay.
Like I mean, it would be hard to kind of rule it out at this point.
So
Yeah, it
I
would
think it might be
be.
referring to the Battle of Los Angeles.
Oh.
The movie?
No, the
It-
movie might have been based off of a thing.
Mm.
Basically, like American aircrafts and searchlights and stuff like that were like pointed in the sky and firing stuff, and like it was said to be like thought to be like because it was around World War II-ish time where they thought that it might have been in like invading forces from Japan, but like they ruled that out, and like there was no forces from Japan. Like I don't remember, but I remember like hearing like I love those
Huh.
spooky kinds of
It's crazy too because it happened at night.
Yes,
So
yeah.
there's really nothing.
Mm.
No, like I said, there were like big searchlights in the sky where like they were aware of
Crazy.
like something that Japan never, got like they never had to own up to it, and it is cool. Comment on the video or wherever if you know anything about these,
We should do some further research. Yeah, if anybody knows more about this, or we want to do further research,
Do
because
a
that's a
job
fun
on it.
topic. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, no, like alien ones and ghost ones kind of feel like dream stories to me. Where when you hear about somebody else's, you're kind of like, did that happen though?
Yeah.
Like, did
Yeah.
is that what like? It sounds like you made that up. If somebody's got like a particularly cool
Right.
like story about aliens or ghosts or dreams, I'm always just like, you're full of shit. But then I have my own ghost stories where I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
oh,
Right.
you know, that there was this like weird thing that like I insist happened.
We got about 5 minutes,
Okay.
so we need to wrap it up.
Okay.
Do we want to end with something fun? Anybody got like a joke they want to riff on, or something crazy you want to talk about?
I don't.
Something silly.
I'm trying to see if I have any new jokes that I've been like kind of workshopping at all. Let's see. No, I haven't been right.
Also, I don't want us to like release material,
Right.
but it is sort of fun to have like a very new idea to like run through people, like
Yeah.
bounce off people. I mean, and then just that idea in general, like being able to just like riff and bounce ideas off and kind of just like think outside of your own head is
What
like,
if
really fun to do.
What if we just ask a AI chat, whatever, like, hey, give me a
Oh, it's
comedy topic idea or whatever, and then
Well,
we have to make like
I
a
will
joke
ask-
of it.
I thought you were gonna say like you know, make an AI just make a joke because it always
No,
makes me
we
laughy,
make the
ass.
jokes. We're the comedians.
So
All right. So, what do you want me to ask AI?
Give
Dude.
me an idea for a comedy topic, a joke topic,
Give
Yeah.
like that. Just
me
straightforward.
an idea.
this is how we're gonna write from now on.
Joke topic.
Yeah.
Joke topic.
Joke.
Hopefully, it doesn't just give us a joke.
You're right. This is like what we're going to do from now on for joke inspiration.
What's it say?
This was for Oliver.
The Holocaust.
How about we come up with puns about food?
Oh,
We could joke about a taco, about a good time, or a positively hilarious situation. What do you think?
a taco and a good time go together. Hand
Well, I guess the joke
and
is like
something.
talk about taco a good time.
Uh, I'm upset that you looked over and was like, "Oh, this is Oliver's." Yeah.
Oliver,
Do you think that
you're a
would
food.
be-
Do you have food jokes?
I have a lot of food jokes. yeah.
Oh,
They're my
that's
bread
why.
and butter. But
Oh,
but on a positive, like what do you like? We should go and like to the right or left. Like we should say like what our favorite bit is or joke is from each other. Like, do you
Oh,
do
I
you
think
guys
that
know
too.
each other's material well enough to just? I have mine for each of you for sure.
Mhm.
yeah. I got. I know it. I'll start. Oliver, one of my favorite jokes is the Freddie Mercury one. Like hands
Damn
down.
it,
It's, like,
yes.
so good.
Which the funny part is like we're not going to bury the lead. Go see his show if you want to
Yeah.
hear.
Yes.
It's a joke that I wrote that I thought was going to be do it one time, see how it goes, and it's arguably the biggest laugh that I get in almost all of my shows. It's a short joke, it's a quick one, but like the level that I
Yeah,
that quick burst, it's always really good, and
Yeah.
I resent that joke because it came to me easy, and I spend so much other time on
right.
jokes, and, I
They're
work very
not.
hard,
You don't get the laugh.
and I don't get them nearly as much as that one.
And I would say my favorite one for summer is definitely the sunburn one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's a good
Definitely.
one. Shit, I have to think of
Yeah.
a different one now because like
That's a lot of people's favorite.
it's really good. It's really really good.
Oh, awesome. That was one of the first jokes I ever wrote.
I remember.
So that's awesome that it still holds up.
And not only does it hold up, and like when you first started doing it, you had like
Mhm.
really good timing, and like the joke was like pretty thought out. Like it had like a beginning, middle, and end. Like it had
Yeah.
tags, it had a progression. You hit a rule of three
Yeah.
on it. Like there's
Mm.
again, like it's a very good one. But I can think of other ones that I like, but that probably would have been my number one.
Okay. My favorite for you, Oliver, is a joke about a bone lady
Oh, Bone Woman.
that you met
Bone
on
woman.
Tinder, and you ask her where she gets her bones, and every time I'm like, obviously she gets her bones on Tinder.
Oh, so for the mildest amount of context, there's a Tinder conversation that I had with a nice woman, And while I was trying to impress her, I told her that I do stand-up comedy. I asked her if she was a content creator or an artist. She said that she makes art with bones that she finds and bones that people bring her. So she's just known as this bone woman who, she says that she ethically collects the bones. I've got a bit about it. I'm skeptical to say the least.
It doesn't involve that the bones come from Tinder, which I think would be so great.
That's
but
fine. I could maybe find a way to put it in.
it's a lot longer than me though, and my jokes are corny.
No, that's a good tag. I just recently my most popular bit is my gummy bear bit.
Yeah.
Somebody just recently gave me a tag that I'm using from now on. So like that joke that like I thought was like done. The Teehees version of it that was released on my TikTok is like kind of the final like it has the most recent
Adjusted, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, like a joke that was written several years ago or a bit that was written. It's gotten changed over the last few years a lot, but it was like over a year since I made that most recent patch. Like it's like
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, always growing.
What's your favorite of Dave's?
My favorite for Dave is the Dustbuster joke.
My first good joke.
Yeah.
That was the first one I liked.
It's good.
You know what's fun about that joke is the Dustbuster part was not even written.
What?
Like, I
That
thought
was
of that while I was on
improvised.
stage because like I thought it was funny as is, and I was like I should call it the Dustbuster.
Yeah.
But like looking
Oh,
back, you went
yeah.
up without a punchline basically because like
Yeah, I thought it was no, it's not good.
Crazy.
Like without
Oh, yes.
without that punchline, it's not really that like
No offense, but yeah,
it's not good.
it's not a joke.
Well,
If you don't have
no.
a punch,
I just thought it was. I was like, oh, this would be funny because I originally I had another joke that comes after, and I was like, oh, this will like sort of segue, like,
Mhm.
and maybe it'll be funny for people to hear, like maybe they'll laugh about the whole experience. And then I was like, this is not funny at all. But
that's where you start though. You do start with
Yeah.
an experience, and eventually, hopefully, you
Right,
find the punchline.
right. But no, like I just recently, and the worst part is I might have to go back through my set list, but at Octopus, there was a joke that I improvised a line on, and the improvised line was a hit, but now I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. So I hope it's not lost to time forever. But yeah, Dave, my favorite of yours, you have a bit about watching movies with your girlfriend.
yeah, that one's pretty good.
That one's really good. That was like like it reminds me of like okay, was it like a TV show or a movie where like a producer like hears somebody recording a song, is like that's a #1 record right there. That was like me hearing that joke or that bit where I'm like that without I think that you told me about it before you went on stage. I'm like that joke is gonna kill. Just the premise of it is really funny, and then knowing what you're gonna do with like the actual.
It is sort of like you'd think like because I've heard both of you so many times, and like you would think like after a while you get a little bored with it. Like you're not bored, but like oh I've heard this joke like. But there's still times where I still laugh at stuff and the stuff because I'm like it's still fun. Like it's
a good joke.
funny
Good
joke.
Mhm.
But
And then my favorite of Summers, like this is kind of you combo the jokes pretty close together with the sunburn one, but the one where you're talking about the warning signs outside of the construction zone.
Yeah. Yep.
that's good too.
That's
Classic.
a really good joke where like it's like again it's a really neat joke. It's really clever, and I think that like that and the sunburn joke like those jokes are just funny. And they should work in like any.
They work.
I like that because
No,
I think for both of them, the way that the joking has gone before you do that joke is not a joke that you expect to hear from you. 'Cause,
Right.
like, your jokes always before those two are like a little bit more innocent.
You gotta
and
warm
like you have like you just have like an innocent like feeling up there. And then like you throw the sunburn one or the roadblock one, and like it's just like, oh, that there, hey, Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good punch.
Those jokes, like that we all just mentioned, like those jokes are designed to kill. They're not designed to get like a mid-level laugh. Those jokes are like the going for the throat of the audience kind where
Right.
this is like where you could take that guy in the second or third row, he's got his arms crossed, who doesn't want to be, he almost thinks it's macho if you can't make him laugh.
Right.
Right.
Like these people are nothing compared to Marlon or Richard Pryor. Like you got those snobs.
I experienced that on the last Octopus open mic. there was a guy sitting towards the front row. I think he was sitting with Jeff, and he was
Yes.
not laughing. And he finally like cracked up at something I said,
Good.
and I felt
Yes.
good about it because I was like,
Yes.
"Fuck yeah!"
Got
like,
him.
he laughed. And then I mentioned it at the Mason City mic we were at,
Yeah.
or the last Mason City mic I was at. Large Marge was there.
Yes. Yep.
She did not laugh at a single thing I said the
Uh-huh.
first time. Like, and I was like, okay, like, and not that that's a true gauge of one person, but like you,
Right.
it's. I feel like for me,
Right.
I noticed the people.
Yeah, you always
It
notice
becomes
the
a
one.
challenge.
It does.
becomes a
And so
challenge.
then at the next one, I did actually make her laugh. So then I like felt so good about it. I had to like point it out.
Yeah,
Which pointing it out was funny.
And
that's fun.
but yeah, we do still have some time.
Mhm.
It's still recording.
Okay.
I just I was so worried about the whole time limit thing. It's still going. So
Awesome.
it's fine, and it could have been just referring to if you because you can use the same program on your phone, and then the
Oh,
phone
right,
makes more
right.
sense for it to be restricting of how much
Oh
time.
yeah. Yep.
But what is a like a new bit that you have that you kind of want some opinion on?
Oh, okay.
Like something you've done more recently that hasn't been heard as much, or maybe we haven't actually heard it. You don't have to do the bit, but like if it's something we've heard, then
Yes. Yeah. No. Let's see. A newer joke that I'm kind of working on right now is, let's see. I want to. So I like doing stuff, for anybody out there who's seen me, I like working on a lot of stuff about how bad at dating I am. So I've got like kind of a dorky pickup line that I'm kind of like saying like, oh, I'm so bad at dating that this is kind of the line that I use. And I kind of want to also use that for crowd work to see if I can get the audience to give me some bad pickup lines that they've heard.
oh sure,
Because you'll hear some wild ones, I'm sure. But the pickup line that I'm like, I've actually used this before to no success, but like I'm just like, hey, you want to be the cutest girl in Applebee's, or hey,
yeah, I like
you
that.
want to go
Yeah,
be the cutest lady in a
that's a good. I like that. I like
That
that.
is
Oh, yeah,
cute. That's
I think
cute.
it's
Because the
original too.
implication is there, and then adding Applebee's in is like, yeah, that's exactly the place we expected him to
Right.
say.
Or a Target, hey, you want to, but like, and then also the
Mm.
Target without a girlfriend bit that I do, where I say,
Yeah,
the longer I'm
good.
there without a Target, or at
because
Target
you've
without a
you've
girlfriend.
changed it a little bit since the first time I heard it, and I think it's getting better.
Right. I mean, there's some more confidence in the premise where, being alone in a Target feels like being alone in a park, where people are like, who are you here with? What are you doing? Uh-oh.
Right,
Mm,
makes sense.
let me see.
So like, do you have any like insight or like something that a direction that I could go with either of those?
I think you could definitely play around with the Applebee's bit, like get some like name off some apps or something that you can get, but like that are terrible there. Like
Right. And like,
it's like this service is gonna be like as good as this date, but Applebee's where the service matches the date.
right. No, it's setting the expectation. That is funny, actually. Like where it's like, if there's enough other bad things, then like I'm not the
Like
first thing.
if you take her to a place and surround yourself with things that are much worse than you,
Yes.
you are like you're not. I'm not saying this in truth, but like in the idea of the joke, you're not the best thing, but you're the best thing in that
Yes.
given circumstance.
Like she'll be like, yeah,
Like Applebee's, like
somebody
the only place everyone looks good. Like
Right. No, like I just recently went to Walmart, and I was just like, I felt real good about
yeah, you
this.
did, like go from a 5 to a 7. Take her to Applebee's.
Yeah. No, oh my god, that's so funny. Oh, Dave, I'm actually using that. That's right. So, Summer, do you have any notes? Because like I'm using that.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't come up with anything this whole time. I've been thinking since you brought it up. So I'm not sure if I have
Right.
anything
I
off
would
the top of my
I would
head on
say
that.
if it was me doing that joke, I would say what I just said, and I was like, because like you're in Applebee's, you've just surrounded yourself with the worst possible experience ever.
Right. No.
Did you
And now you're the best thing in the room.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right. And like if there are other dates going on, like that's not hard competition. Like, but if we
No.
go to like another date spot, like an Olive Garden, no, you're competing with other people who are like hitting some real
Like,
bangers out.
Or you could just float along the idea like I like to set the bar low first. Like that's why I take them to Applebee's.
What if you also say something about like your family owns that chain or your family works at that chain? So the ugly people is your family. Can we work that out somehow?
I can find a way. Like,
Yeah, you could definitely be like, yeah, I know it's bad because my family used to work there. Like,
well, also because
It's
I
something like
like
that.
I
Or just even you worked there. One or the other.
right. No, like that's the twist at the end is like, and I also get a discount. Don't ask why.
Yes.
I also just like worked it back around until like hey, do you want to be the cutest thing in Applebee's? But then it's because I want to be the most successful guy
yeah,
in the restaurant that we go to.
Yeah.
Applebee's.
you could just say,
Right.
you could just say like, you want to be the cutest girl in Applebee's with the most successful guy in an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Ah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's something there that like it kind of it hides the shittiness
Yeah,
of that.
anyone can have an ego in Applebee's.
Anyone can have it. Again, this is funny. I'm actually taking some like really good tags on that.
Nice.
But yeah, no, Summer, do you have like a newer bit, or even just like if it's
Yeah.
not even that new?
One of my newer bits that I think there can be a lot more for is a bit about dude nudes and someone asking me how to take a nude. And basically the joke is that you don't want their face in it. You want the goods close to the camera. And that's actually how men take pictures of the fish they catch.
Yeah, I actually really like the whole joke.
The
I
premise,
feel like there's
adding
more.
to it, it's like
right.
like I mean, it's like the and then make sure before you get to the fish roll, he's like, make sure that everyone you send it looks a little bit bigger each time.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like the fish my dad catches.
Right. Or,
Yeah.
again, yeah, like regardless of the picture, when they talk about it, they make it sound like it was way bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
Good one
Yeah.
too. Good
Yeah, that's when they make it sound bigger.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
I
like
remember.
like the picture speaks 1,000 words. Like, remember the picture needs to speak at least 8 inches.
I remember that when I was younger, I had the idea of buying like a bunch of like novelty small things, so that way they could be in the background.
Oh
So, like,
my
So
god.
have you seen like, Lord of the Rings? How they make the hobbits look real small?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like doing that in reverse, but with my wiener.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, just, like,
Yes.
stage tricks to
Taking
Oh
taking a picture of your dick
God.
next to like a playhouse.
right, like just like having my hand back here, so they're like, dear God, his dick is like
Like put small
Oh,
like
yeah.
put small objects next.
like
exactly.
Just casually have a tape measure out to like 10 minutes.
Like,
10 inches, like really
like,
far
it's-
away.
these camera tricks to where you're just
Yeah.
oh my God, it's the size of
Yeah.
Makes me think of Photoshop, and then you see like the curved staircase or whatever next to it. I don't know.
Right, no. So there's some room there with they make it sound like it's bigger, even though like based on what you see in the picture,
Yeah.
or the camera tricks you can play, like
Mm.
because again, like nobody's gonna be like no one's first suspicion is gonna be, oh, that's clearly an extremely small shampoo bottle.
Right.
That's clearly an incredibly small
Right.
car.
Mhm.
They're gonna be like, oh, that wiener's huge.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good stuff. What do you got?
That joke I've done recently a couple times. One I really like is the buying a star.
That was
Joke.
so dumb.
It's dumb, but it
It,
has like worked every
the punchline
so
is
much
really
better
good.
than I thought it would
The
be.
punchline is really good. So I will say the joke maybe could like either use more at the beginning, or it's one of those jokes that we were kind of, I think, talking about earlier, where
Like distill it down
you
to
can get it distilled really quick, because
Mhm.
there's a good chunk of the first, I would say 2/3 of the joke, where it's kind of building tension or suspicion that you're about to do
yeah.
something really fucked up.
Yeah. Which I kind of should just maybe emphasize the fact that I like want to own a human.
Right. So I think that like you like it's maybe not a tag thing, but it's like maybe a pacing thing where you either need to front load more of something into the joke, or get rid of the first like, or really speed up the first like 2/3 of it, because again,
Yeah.
the punchline is worth it.
Yeah, that turned out really like, and I didn't really think that joke would go that great the first time I did, and it actually did so much better than I thought it would, which is
The punchline
which is
is
great.
really
I love the idea of that, but yeah, that one it's such a fun joke to do because like nobody really expects.
you have no idea.
Nobody knows the direction I'm going to go, even when I get to the like halfway point. But Yeah, I'll keep workshopping that one and the lesbian porn one. I don't know if you
Pay attention.
Remember, I don't know
Yeah,
if I know about that
I'll
one.
let you talk.
No.
I've only done it twice, and the first time I did, that was actually that guy that laughed that wasn't laughing. He
Oh,
something about that
about
like,
lesbian porn.
yeah, and then he liked that one a lot. And then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the premise is like I think it makes me laugh.
No.
Or it makes me laugh because
Oh.
like they don't know what they're doing when the strap on comes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have seen videos of like it was basically like see how hard it is to actually do this. You know, like it was like a video of a chick with a strap on, like trying to simulate what hitting
Right.
in the back was like, and yeah, the lack of endurance or the lack.
Well, it's just
speed.
they like
Yeah, you
the
don't
whole
work
idea
those
behind it. Like
muscles.
they start hips out, and you need to start hips back.
No.
It's like so they're like trying to chase it like around, and it's like, well, you got nothing to thrust with. Like,
Which that reminds me because I did my own thing where do you remember the last octopus thing where I made a joke about where if you get in the off rhythm where they're going forward as you're going forward, you're going back because like instead of like clashing
yeah,
and getting like a higher you know force, you just start doing this California raisins thing
yeah,
where you're both just kind of doing this weird awkward back
Yeah,
and forth
yeah.
together.
Mm.
Yeah, that's yeah,
fantastic.
that just made me think of that.
Well, you guys, you feel good about this one?
I,
Feel pretty good.
absolutely.
You know what? I think we're gonna have more fans by the time they see this episode.
Yep.
And we'll probably have a show. All of us will probably have been on a show maybe by the time this episode comes out. So thank you everyone for who's gonna any future followers we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell your
Thanks
friends.
for
Shower
watching.
Beers, The
Mhm.
Loft, Oliver Schmitz, Summer Dawn, Dave Grant, Local Noise.
Can we say one more thing?
Absolutely.
We actually all have a show together
Yeah, yep.
coming
So
up soon.
it's
Oh,
upcoming
Cooper's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August
Yep.
9th,
Yep.
Cooper's Tap Room, hosted by yours truly, Oliver Schmidt.
You know how
These are
bad
local
I've
openers
keep
and
going.
no worries. Damon Tucker coming all the way from
Yeah.
Des Moines to feature for us.
Yes.
And also in tow, Mel Mackey,
Yeah.
one of, if not my very favorite headliners in the state,
She's great.
coming to grace
Yeah.
their presence. I headlined the only other comedy show that's happened in that room,
Mm.
and she was the first person that I wanted to outsource that job to keep the room having a great
Yeah.
reputation. But yes, that is August 9th.
Mhm.
By the time that you see this, tickets are definitely available on midwesttix.com. Just look up Cooper's tap room comedy and it will be there. They're going to be $10 ahead of time, $15 at the door. And you might just, if you keep your ear to the ground, follow us on our socials, you'll see that I will be giving away a couple pairs of tickets on Rock 108 at an undisclosed date right now. But
Nice. Hey,
good one to follow.
we're up to it. We might give away tickets on this show.
yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
We might
On the
present.
show, we're going to be okay. No one's calling in.
It's
Oh,
not gonna be on this show. No, what I was gonna bring up is I feel so bad about this. The first Cooper show we had, I was 100% convinced Summer was on that show,
Oh.
and I asked her probably 3 times, "Are you excited for the show at Cooper's?"
Oh, you
oh
did?
God.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I think I remember that.
I know that I could tell it didn't really bother you, but there was one time she was like, "I'm not on that show."
Oh my god.
And I was no, you
I
were
remember
mean.
See, I don't
You
even
weren't mean at all, but I was just like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the Cooper show. Like, are you ready for it?" And she's just like, "I'm not on that show." I was like,
right.
"So you're not ready?" No.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
No, I just felt bad about it because I was just like, "Oh,
yeah, you fucking dick.
yeah, I'm an idiot."
But either
It's gonna be
way,
fun.
that show's gonna be great. Last time we sold it out, so you do
Oh, that was a
likely need to get your tickets ahead
Show
of
up
time.
early.
Show up early. They've got a
Mhm.
great kitchen. But until then, like we said, we're gonna be at the Loft doing. You got a show coming up in July. What
Yep,
is it,
July
17th?
19th. We've got Alex Hopper headlining. Todd Basinger,
Hopper
Yeah.
Hooper.
Hopper, Alex Hooper.
It's your show. You should know.
So yeah, we should know.
It's either Alex Hopper or Hooper.
Come to the show.
Come
find
to the
out
show.
the
Like
details.
the first name is the important part. And let's see, we got Todd Basinger featured on that, and we've
Yeah.
got a local guy, Matt Anderson,
Yes.
to open and host that show. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, that was
You can get tickets
hilarious.
online. Check out either local noise or bad credit comedy. We've got an event page up for that. We're kind of co-hosting that with another comedy group. And then we got something else coming up. Oh yeah, the first episode of Shower Beers will be out before this one.
That's how time it is.
Yes.
At the time of this recording, it hasn't been released yet, but
Yeah. All right. Well, what do we want to do? Shower beers?
all right. Shower beers.
Shower beers. Woo!
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I love shower beers.
Bye, guys.